us today. I know that you have still been putting in the hours. So, geez. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started. Let's start talking about um, these songs. Since a lot of times I kind of know who's over here on chat box, but I don't necessarily. I over right here, which I guess on your computer would be over here. I get a little number of people in chat, and so I'm never sure how many of those people are people that are already in the program, already kind of know what's going on, and how many of you guys that are kind of quiet and checking things out. I'm never sure if you are beginner players or super advanced players, trolls, whatever. So I always sort of just say the full lesson. And even though for some of you it may be repetitive, I think it's more important that I say it. And maybe you get something out of it, maybe not. Um, but so just bear with me as we go through the easy stuff and then the medium stuff and then the hard stuff. And hopefully you find though that thing that may is meaningful to you and something that makes sense. Something that hopefully hopefully when you come here you take one thing away from the guitar lesson that is helpful. And so I love it when you know you send me an email and say you said this weird thing and I don't understand it. That means that you were listening, right? Or be playing Tetris in the other window and just feeling good that you have some guitar in the other window. Um, let's talk about the basics of guitar again. If you are a level one player, the phrase that pays is Eddie, 8, dynamite, goodbye, Eddie. EADGBE. If you don't already own a top of the line snark tuner, you are making your life harder. Amazon has them for 17 bucks. I sell them out of my studio for 18 bucks because I'm going to get rich. And uh, $1 at a time. But the top of the line Snark has a high definition screen and the more advanced computer in it. So it's absolutely worth buying one of those and change your life as a guitarist. Um, Also, remember you should after you use that, just go through and relative check that you're in tune. And if you guys want to double check that your guitar is more or less like mine, here I always hold the sixth string down at the fifth fret, and it should the first those top two strings should now sound the same. And then at the fifth string here, fifth fret here on the fifth string. Fourth string at the fifth fret. And as we talked yesterday, if you have a classical guitar and you're switching from metal to nylon or whatever material they make that out of, sometimes that G string seems to have a weird timbre to it. Okay, when you go to the third string, you got to go back to the fourth fret. And then go back to the fifth fret at the second string. And as long as your ear is telling you that those are equal and that you're more or less equal to my guitar, then we can play together quite happily. If your tuning is a little bit off, it'll sound a little funky at home. And just think about that you are quarter toning it and doing some contemporary guitar, which is what they are doing these days. And you can sound as complicated as them. All right, I'm going to play Frere Jacques. This is not the Brother John version, so make sure you're on page. It's page 11 in the book. Actually, you guys don't have a page number on the bottom of yours, but it will definitely say Frere Jacques on the top, and you will be in the key of A. Okay, A chord, index finger, fourth string right there, middle finger, third string, ring finger, second string. You got to come basically straight down on these strings because you got to leave this string open and you want to make sure that this string stays open. Okay, so that's what we're working on. Let's give it a try. If you are a higher level player, you know that you know how to make an A chord. By the way, I should very quickly mention my thumb is hanging out right behind my middle finger, and my thumb, you can't see it. Okay, if I'm doing things correctly, you'll never see my thumb. Let's talk about this 2, 3, 4, or this 1, 2, 3, 4, or this, 1, 2, 3, 4. All of those are acceptable ways to pluck. A lot of more advanced players will move their thumb around. Bum, 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 bum. So be thoughtful that you're wanting to get control over your thumb in this hand, as well as keep the beat steady with these three fingers. Um, the other way of strumming this would be to do a arpeggio pattern of some sort. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or then rotate them around. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that, right? Be creative. Okay, you're playing Frere Jacques. It's not you're not going to catch the world on fire, even though it's an awesome song. Okay, let's give it a try. I'm going to sing. I apologize, I can't sing. 1, 2, ready, play. Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, sonez-les matines, sonez-les matines, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong again. Frere sleeping, are you sleeping? Brother John, morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. I didn't want to stop playing. Make sure you're comfortable with reading the repeat on this song. At the end of measure 8, it says those double heavy lines with the 2 dots say go back. And in this case, you're going to go all the way back to the very first measure where you see the other double heavy line with 2 dots. That says you're going to go back to here, and that's a forward repeat. You're going to start playing from there. When you come through the second time, don't play measure 8. Skip over measure 8 and play measures 9 and 10. Okay? And then, of course, when you get to that last chord, whatever it is, just hold on to this chord and let the guitar ring. It'll ring for a while, and the way to get it to stop is to drag your hand up over the bridge like that. Okay, that's your chord. Getting your A chord on effectively plunk, is something that's going to come up in your guitar career. So, not wasting any time working on it. All right. Next thing is we want to play the melody. Yesterday we covered how to play, how to read tablature. Hopefully you've had a chance to get comfy with that. If you haven't, the Brother John lesson from yesterday is posted up on the website, and you can fast forward to wherever you need to and work on that. With this song, you've got some 2s. You're going to play all 2s with your middle finger, and you have some 3s. You're going to play all 3s with your ring finger. You're not even going to use this finger at all. All 2s on the, just get it on the correct string, and then try to pluck the correct string on this side, and Frere Jacques will come leaping out of your guitar, and you're going to feel like you're a hero. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2 again. 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, oh, 2, 2, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, 2, 2, 2, second ending, 2, 2, 2, let it ring. how you're going to know you're successful as a melody player is the guitar is going to give you very clear feedback. If you don't have everything set up very cleanly on this hand and pluck very cleanly on this hand, your guitar will let you know. It'll say, yeah, I don't really think you're doing that right. I think you should do a better job on that. And so I always think, well, at some point you get pretty good at playing straight line melody. I do think it's worthwhile to go back and play some of these easier songs just to make sure you're doing a great job with your all of the tools put together and making it pretty. You probably have noticed I've been fighting holding this guitar today. It might be because I don't have my footstool in the correct place and I'm dancing around the microphone stand. So let me get in better playing position and maybe we'll look a little less ridiculous. Okay. If you are a level 1 player, don't worry about tough acts. That's not your bag yet. Okay. This is very, very challenging stuff. If you are level 2 and level 3, level 2, this is where you're starting to mess around with this. If you are level 3, for sure, this would be something that you would want to have well in hand at that point. Not necessarily that you're the greatest player of it, but that you know what you're doing and that theoretically you're the greatest player at doing it. Okay, we're going to go ahead and play this one. Let's grab the A chord. I'm going to play it just thumb down on everything. That's where my comfort zone is when I'm teaching. But if you are the next level player, you're thinking about doing your claw and trying to get the correct strings. As always, the top note on the tablature is the melody note, and that's the one that's going to matter. So spend a little bit of time double checking that you're playing that note a little louder than everybody else. Okay, let's start from the top. Grab your A chord, get in good position. Start on the string 5, and notice on the strings that I don't play, my thumb is going to rest on that so it doesn't accidentally go off. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Second ending. And I'm going to let my guitar completely ring out, not touch the A chord, and then when I'm ready to have it stop, I'm going to just slide my hand up from the bridge up onto the strings. Okay, I'm not going to slap at them like this, like I see sometimes happening. Okay, Frere, Jacques, beautiful. Hopefully all 3 of those ways are making sense for you to play, and hopefully the things are coming along for you with whatever tools you happen to be working on at the given time. Some of you just playing through it at all is a challenge for some of you. Finger picking the melody is the big thing. Getting comfortable with getting an A chord on and not being sad, right? That in and of itself is a skill. So that's for Jacques. Any questions you guys have for me, toss me an email, of course. Just go to denverguitarorchestra.com. That's where all your resources will always be posted, and my email address is on there too. All right, next song we're going to play is level 2 song. Let's go on to whatever I said was next. I think I said we're going to play Down in the Valley, right? Down in the Valley. Let me check and make sure I'm not fooling myself. Yep, Down in the Valley. We are, I should close that window. That's going to mess up the sound eventually. I can't do that right now. Okay, so we are moving on to Down in the Valley. Yeah, everything in book 2 is a 2-chord song. Okay, so in this case, you've got C chord, and C chord's very best friend in all of life is G chord. and then back to C chord. Okay, C chord, G chord, C chord. As we talked either yesterday or the day before, lots of different ways to make G chord, and so let me give you all of those ways. Okay, the way I want you to be able to do it is index finger, 5th string, 2nd fret, middle finger, 6th string, 3rd fret, and ring finger, 1st string, 3rd fret. Okay, that's how I want you to be able to do it. But when I watch pros play, they very often will go ahead and put their ring up here and their pinky here. Okay, and when they do that, because you get a nice pop, okay, that makes that string sound brighter. Okay, beautiful. If you don't hold that one down, it sounds like this. Okay, which is beautiful and fine, right? It just gives it a little more oomph. Okay, so you'll see that chord come up a lot in folk music, and especially when you're playing in the key of C, you will see a lot of players middle finger here, ring finger up here, and pinky finger down there. Okay, I don't particularly like that formation. I know the reason we do it is that way it's easy to get to that note to play a C chord, blunk, right? And then I'm in C chord. The other reason we sometimes use those two fingers is because we have G7, which we do have one in this song, right? So I say it's only a 2-chord song, but it's sort of technically got a 3rd chord in there, which is the G7, and so that's why we might want to finger it that way. I think you want to be able to go from a regular G to a regular C and back. I think that's a skill that's worth having, and it's a skill that's worth working on. You don't even need to look at the sheet music to work on it too, right? I'm going to start with C, then I'm going to go to G, back to C, or to G. You could literally spend the entire evening working on that and do yourself a favor, just getting really comfortable with your fingers moving back and forth like that. All right, I'm going to sing. You guys know that that's never good. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Down in the valley so low. 1, 2, 3. Hang your head over. Hear the wind blow. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Hear the wind blow. Love. Hear the wind blow. Late in the evening. Hear the wind blow. 2, 3. 1, 2. Top. Down in the valley so low. Hang your head over. Hear the wind blow. 2, 3. 1, 2. Hear the wind blow. Love. Hear the wind blow. Late in the evening. Hear the wind blow. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, now it's G chords. I'm flying all over the place. I'm busy as all heck, right? That's just way a lot of stuff. And if you're using the folk music G in that case, you're probably saving yourself a little bit of work. Okay, so that would be an excellent time to use that alternate G. For some people, that is their main G. And so that would have prevented me from flying all over the place and making a lot of mistakes. Okay. All right. Let's play the melody. Level 2. Probably melody is making a lot of sense for you and should be something that comes pretty straightforward. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 1, 3. Oh, rest, rest. 1, rest, rest. Oh, 3, 1, 3. Rest, rest. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3, 1, hold it, 3, hold it, oh, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, oh, 1, 3, oh, rest, rest, 1, hold it, oh, 3, 1, 3, keep the beat steady and go. Oh, oh, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, oh, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. If you're newer to sheet music and you see measures 23, 24, and 25, they're just one gigantic long note. That's really meant for the singer. You as a guitarist, you're done. You don't know what to do. You're hanging out. That's what you really, honest to God, should do that. The singer, meanwhile, is supposed to be holding that note for 9 full beats, or at least 6, 7. And so they're busy doing a lot of work. You as an instrumentalist are like, okay, I'm done. All right. All right. Not too much of a challenge in there. Just remember that if it's a 1, you're using your index finger, and 3, you're using your ring finger. Hopefully that's making a lot of sense for you. Okay. Tough X. This is where we combine that melody we just played with the chords we were just playing, and this is tough. This is where fingerstyle starts. Okay. And if you can play this, then the business of adding in some extra eighth notes, arpeggios, and plucking things in a claw fashion come together pretty well. If you are newer, I suggest just using your thumb and thumbing your way all the way through this. If you've been around a while, you really want to have your claw position on in shape and be making smart decisions about, hey, I'm supposed to hit 5 strings, but I'm only using 4 fingers. How do I successfully accomplish that? And that's what we're working on. Okay. All right. As in all fingerstyle, we grab our chord first and see how far it gets us. Okay, I'm going to play with my thumb. You play with whatever right hand configuration you're working on. If you're brand new and you're just like, oh my gosh, I haven't played guitar in 20 years, just play the chords with us, right? Just that would be perfect. Giving you the wrong chords. This chord and this chord. Just play G's and C's. Okay, 1, 2, ready, play. Let's not play that way. Let's start again. 1, 2, 3. To the top. So that gives you an idea of what I'm working on. I'm just trying to hold on to the correct chord and then modifying that in any way that I need to. If I was playing for my master's thesis right now, I would have failed, right? Lots and lots of mistakes. Doesn't matter, right? We've all survived, and we're all sitting here going, I don't know if that's how I wanted to play that or not. Hopefully, you played it better than I did. Okay, nice, pretty little tune. I think it's worth your time to put in a little bit of effort onto it. Um, Arpeggio patterns, guys. This one I basically set it up as a 3-1-2-3 thumb index middle type arpeggio pattern. So if you wanted to do measure one, you're going to hold that C chord 3-2-0, 3-2-0, 3-2-0, 3-2-0, and then all I'm going to do is switch those two fingers, middle and ring, and now I'm going to play the G chords as 3-2-0, 3. 3-2-0-3 forever, and then when you get to your C's. So the C arpeggio is 1-2-3, 1-2-3, 1-2-3, and the G arpeggio is 1-2-3, 1-2-3. If you're getting started with arpeggio playing and you're getting more, hey, Gary keeps talking about arpeggios every time he turns around. That's an excellent song to get started with, just that 1-2-3 pattern, and using these three strings and then those three strings, right? And then all you have to do on this hand is those two and then those two and back. Okay, that's all you're doing over there. Again, we're trying to get right hand independence from left hand, and it's easy to talk about. And you go into these guitar sites and these classic guitar players, and they're like, "Yep, that's how you do it." And you're like, "Well, where do you start?" Well, that's where you start. Very, very simple. Try to get it as clean and as consistent as you can, while you're in your head at least singing along, or you're humming, doing something so that you know where the melody is. If I haven't given you the sales pitch yet, over on DenverGuitarOrchestra.com, there's an MP3 of every single song that's in the program, and you should download those, listen to them, play along to them if you can. If you can't, don't let it ruin your life. That can be very demoralizing to try to play along to a recording. But at least know what you're supposed to play, and then bring all of the toolbox skills that you have into that, so that you're like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to keep working on that until I can kind of get it good enough, right? And arpeggio picking is something that I talk about all of the time, because it makes you a much better, much fancier, much more cool type guitar player. And not having to do anything extra over here. In fact, sometimes you do less over here, especially if you're a singer. Dolly Parton is classic because she's going to do a ton of stuff on her right hand, because her chords, she's got those big old long fingernails. She's going to retune her guitar specifically for a song so she doesn't break her fingernails, and everything for her is a bar chord, right? And so that's what she's doing there. So if you watch her, just tremendous arpeggio skills. And then of course she knows a bit about singing, and so that's how she does what she does. All right, I am looking at our time, and we're doing great. So let's move on to Daisy Bell. It's a level 3 song, and one of my favorite songs of all time. And let's go get it. If you just logged in, I've got a few more of you sitting there. All the resources are at DenverGuitarOrchestra.com. And I don't have my Daisy Bell. Here is my Daisy Bell. Where is my Daisy Bell? Theoretically, everything's supposed to be in alphabetical order, right? I don't have Daisy Bell in any of my books. What the heck did I do? Where did I put it? There it is. Put it up front. Apparently rewrote it. All right. Now this song, I purposely arranged it lower on the guitar so you could get a little bit of a chance to make these sounds ring out as the melodies. I tend to put the melody up on these higher strings because it's a little easier to make the melodies ring out from those. But in this case, we move them down just a little bit to give you a chance to play lower in the guitar sound, sort of be darker, bolder, bigger. Let's see, Elizabeth. Is the guitar parallel to the body, or is the fretboard closer? Oh, so the question really, what Elizabeth is asking is, hey, am I pulling this back at all, or is this really right here? Um, Current practice is that this is pretty much parallel to the body, pretty much. Okay. That's what they will probably, that's probably academic guitar. That's probably exactly what they would talk about. If you notice these great jazz players, if you notice players, when you look at photographs from the late 1800s, early 1900s, it was much more common to play like this with the guitar back a little bit. Um, I think I sort of, it depends on how serious I'm being. I like to start off here. This is, I would like this to be parallel to my body, up tight against my bod. That's what I think is going to ultimately be the least amount of tension in your body. But I know, as I notice, is if I get into a practice session, after a while, I'm sort of, this is sort of sitting out here a little bit because I'm so busy looking and seeing what I'm working on my fretboard. But I would say in common practice, in academic guitar, they definitely want this as straight as possible, because it keeps your you want to have a nice straight spine, head on top of your neck, and all this, all that in line, shoulders down, and it just seems like this lines up perfectly. Where you're looking to get your wrist and your right hand is about the third fret is where your bars are going to drop in, and so that's ideal, right? And that's what I think for the most part we're teaching these days is just keep this straight. But I also know that I see plenty of players who are very successful with this out just a little bit and this neck just back a little bit. I think the problem with this is you got to your wrist tends to bend out just a little bit, and that's not ideal. So hopefully that's helpful. All right, let's talk about the chords in Daisy Bell. You got a G chord, you got your C chord, you got a D7, you got the ever lovely E minor, you got an A7, and that may be everybody. So those are the main chords. When I am getting ready to start a song, I usually like to sing and pluck it, right? Even though I can't sing. Um, so I would tend to go Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer to. So that's what I'm going to do with you right now. I'm going to give this 1, 2, 3 pluck. If you are strumming, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 is perfectly fine. If you want to more arpeggio pick it, I'd probably put in 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Daisy, Daisy. Okay, that's what I'd be thinking. Let's sing it. Again, I apologize for my singing. No, I don't. It's how I sing. It's terrible. I know. It just sounds brutal. 1, 2, faster. 1, 2, 3. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. 1, 2, 3. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. 1, 2. It won't be a stylish marriage. 1, 2. I can't afford a carriage, but you'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle built for two. Okay, so that's just plucking that. Again, as you're getting into fingerstyle and you're wanting to dominate your guitar, that claw shape, you want to get where you can do that in your sleep, right? So that's one way to do it. If you want to pluck through it with doing arpeggio patterns, go through and just strum the thing. Hopefully you can sing a little better. If you can't sing at all, just go play strum to the MP3, and I think you think that's just as effective learning tool. All right. Next thing, melody. Everything on this song, it's all 1, 2, or 3. So one index, middle, or ring. It's just you're on these deeper strings, and so it gives you a chance to mess that up. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 3, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, 2, 4, oh, 2, oh, oh, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, 2, 4, oh, 2, oh, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, oh, 1, oh, 2, 3, oh, 2, oh, 2, oh, 2, oh, oh, 2, oh, 2, oh, 2, oh, 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 2, oh, 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 2, oh, 1, 3, oh, oh, 2, oh, oh, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Stop. Okay. So a couple of interesting notes here. One is that on those big long swooshes connecting the notes, you got a lot of time to do nothing. And so that's going to be another opportunity for you to make sure your guitar tone is really clean and beautiful. Make sure that you're hitting those notes cleanly. Second thing to note in measure 17, 18, measure 19, there's a little decorative note 2 0 2 0. And so that sort of snuck up on me. I'm like, I haven't played this in a while. And you're like, oh, goodness, that's a little bit of a decoration in there. Feel free as a guitarist to add in whatever decoration you want to on these longer notes and kind of jazz things up a little bit. Um, Last couple of things down a measure 25 to 6 to 7 28 29 30 near the end of the song, under above built bicycle built, you see the eyeball there, that's a fermata. I don't think when I'm practicing a song I'm working on that very hard, but when you get together as a group, everybody has to decide, how are we going to handle that that fermata. Sometimes we ignore it, sometimes we make it a little longer, sometimes we make it a lot longer. Again, it's an eyeball telling you, hey, pay attention. Or we're going to make this note a little bit longer, but we have to agree on how long. If you're a solo playing, you get to decide how much longer to make that, and we use those to create some drama. Okay. Next thing on that same measure, you see the word RIT, which means ritardando, which means you want to slow down. Of a bicycle built for two, right? So we want to slow that down quite a bit. All right, from the top, we're going to play the tough acts now. And again, I'm going to do just a down strum like this. If you are a next level student and you should be grabbing your claw and getting ready to pluck this guy out. I find this to be a pretty challenging arrangement. So let's see how you do. In fingerstyle, we always grab the chord first, and then we're going to see how much we can get done. Maybe I think I will. Maybe I will pluck some of this. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Day, Z, day, Z. Give me your answer to. Whoops, sorry. Let me start from the beginning. I'm messing up my chords here. Let's start from. That's all right. I'll go back. I'm going to go back to the beginning. Sorry. I think I'll probably be better off with strumming. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Day, Z, day, Z. Give me your answer to. It won't be sweet upon the sea of a bicycle bill for two. All right, goodness sakes, I played that way too fast. I'm going to go back and give it another try. Got a question here. Bob, explain first note of tup with the gap. First note of tup with the gap. Excellent question, Bob. So obviously when I was arranging this piece, I was thinking, man, I'm going to do the whole thing claw style and it's going to be beautiful. And then it turns out just now as I'm playing it, a little harder to play than I want it to be, right? Probably should have spent a little more time on it. What the gap there is saying, don't play that note here. Okay? So you're holding a G chord, and we would typically just do a thumb down. Okay? But what I said was, hey, don't play that string. Put your thumb, index, middle, ring here, and that's what you're going to do. So in order to get that gap, you can't really do a thumb down if you're being very diligent about following exactly what's on the paper. As you know, I don't typically follow the rules very well, and so I would probably start off with, but that's not really what's arranged there. What's really arranged there is, and that makes sense, right? So you're skipping that on the first chord, but on the decorative note, you're using it to fill in with your thumb and index. So what we're really looking at, let's see if I can get you the strings, a decent view of the strings here. That's what I'm working on. Which book is Daisy in? It's not in my book 2. I think I took it out of book 2 because it's too. It should be in book 3. Um, it's pretty challenging too. So I think it's in book 3. Like, if it's not, it's going to be. Maybe it's in 4. I don't remember. Um, no, it should be in 3. It should be in book 3. That's where I want it. It's a public domain song with plenty of chords and lots of stuff to talk about. So yeah, it's a book 3 song. All right, let's start from the top. I'm going to go quite a bit slower because I was blowing it pretty good. Okay, from the top. How much time do we have left? Oh, we got enough time to do it. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Pluck, 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 pluck. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go back to the very beginning. I'm going to get it right yet. 1, 2, 3. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer. Do, do. And then we're going to go to that D7. Okay, so clearly I need to put in some more time just studying this, finding out where my fingers need to go. And I do apologize. That was a very poor performance. The I will work on it Saturday. I'm working on Daisy Bell on guitar until I can play it. So next Sunday, you guys will hear it. This coming Sunday. Okay, so clearly when I was arranging it, I meant that this would be played. If you look at the last two measures on the first page, that's actually super cool if you can get it right. Right, and so you're working on dividing that out and bringing it back in. It's not in your book version of book three, but my book is old. Um, Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know if it's in. Maybe I took it out of book three because it's too hard, and then I put it. I don't know. It's in my computer. It's supposedly in book three. I think it will be in book three if I don't have it in there. So anyway, you have this on the website. So print it out and put it in your book. It will be a book three song because it is pretty hard. There are plenty of chords in it, and it's public domain. So all three of those say, "Hey, this is a level three song." So yeah, I should have probably would have worked on this a little bit more myself. I do think getting comfy with these lower strings though is one of those things that is important here. I wrote my note on this says it's too low, raise the key. But the more I think about it, the more I think this is exactly obviously where I need to put in a little bit of time to get the song put together properly. And probably for most of you guys, the same thing happens is, hey, I need to play in different styles and in different ways and on different songs so I can just continue to build my toolbox where it's pretty comfy. Um, so there's that. In terms of the arpeggio pattern, I gave you, for the most part, root noted. No, I didn't really. I just gave you something that I think looks good in mostly open positions. A little bit of everything in there. If you're working on arpeggios, and you should be, play along with the MP3 with this, trying to figure out what the least amount of work you can do is. I gave the G's. I started those on D, G, G, B, just to give a little bit more color to the overall final part of this song. I like this. This is one of these songs where you would definitely want to play in a group and get everybody playing all of the different parts simultaneously, and then it sounds pretty nice. So, all right, clearly it's Friday afternoon. I need to put the guitar away because it's not going well. Christy Lyon says book five. It's not book five. Come on, that's a book three song. Probably is a book five. Let's put it in book three. Let's make this song happen. It's a great song. A couple of notes just for lessons. Taking tomorrow off, you should take tomorrow off. Or if you don't take tomorrow off, go through the songs we worked on over the last week. Find a couple that are below your ability, right? That are easy, where you can just work on just enjoying playing them. Then find at least one or two that are a little bit above your ability, and work on those. And don't turn it into a thing, right? Just be working on, hey, I'm building my toolbox now, and then and then obviously every time you end up practicing, play something as you're wrapping up that's just fun and enjoyable to play. Um, the, we're always working on guitar. You're never going to master it, so we're always working on it a little bit. So work on the easier songs just to continue to make sure your toolbox is tight, and then the one harder song that's above your ability to give you a stretch goal. And then most of the songs I like you to play are just songs you enjoy. So those are the ones that are right in your ability. One thing I am continually squawking with my guitar orchestra is, do you have a song memorized? You should have one song that you love. Frankly, you're sick of that song, that you have it memorized and you play it every day. You either use it up as your warm up or you use it as your warm down. Cool off, I guess, is what they call it. But you should have one song that you know inside and out. That's your song, that means something to you, that you have full control over on the instrument. And so pick one and get it up to speed. All right, that's enough for today. Chat box, I think, for you guys is sitting right over there. If you want to say any last questions, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'm supposed to tell you to do that. And if you haven't thumbs up me or thumbs down me, whatever you think, I don't care. Uh, do I care? I don't know if I care. We're just doing this until the things are better. And so I hope that they're meaningful to you. I hope you're learning a little bit. And obviously, my email address is all over the denverguitarorchestra.com website. So if you have questions or just want to chat, I'm I'm caught up on email at this moment, so send me a note. Thanks, Bob. I will enjoy my day off, and I'm gonna go harass Henry for a little while now. Hope you guys have a nice day off. Stay inside. Just do your laundry and clean that weird closet that you've been thinking about cleaning for the last 4 years, and just enjoy your day. Maybe put in a little bit of time on making music, or maybe not. Whatever, you know. Have a wonderful Saturday. I will see you guys Sunday at 5:30, and I will have Daisy Bell in much better shape than I had it today. Um, I do. Excellent. All right. Thanks, guys. I'm going to end this stream now. Have a wonderful day.